Hi guys, welcome back to our channel. Welcome back to another video where we're talking about chickens. If this is your first time viewing, thank you so much for choosing to view. And if this is your first time, thank you so much for choosing to come and join us again. Today I want to talk a little bit about how we feed our chickens, what we put in their food, and how we keep them hydrated during the summer months. I just made a harvest just now with some bell peppers and some herbs, and I figured I would go ahead and just show you, do a quick video and just show you some of the things that we put in their food to keep them healthy by keeping their immune systems healthy. I hope you're able to see. All right, there we go. These are some herbs. These are some bell peppers. Excuse me, that I got. Excuse me, guys. It is hot out here. I'm hot. The chickens are hot. It's about 96 degrees right now. So forgive me if I seem a little disoriented. But anyway, yeah, these are some herb. Here I have some rosemary, fresh sage, fresh thyme, and fresh oregano. And what I do, I dry these, and it takes about maybe 6 days to dry them, and then I rub them together, kind of crush them up a little bit, and then I add them to their food. Now this food is just supplemental food because the chickens do roam the yard, right, where they pick on grasshoppers, crickets, worms and stuff like that. But this is the company that we've been so impressed with, Cluck and Company. They are terrific. All right. And we started the chickens off with these, with their chick food. That's food for chickens that are babies. And now that they're about to lay eggs, we have started them on a layer blend. And in this blend, we have organic oats, organic corn, organic peas, organic wheat, and organic barley. And that for us is a plus. Now what we do is, yes, what's going on? You all right? All right, so this is a 5-gallon bucket, and I have a couple of these to deal with the chicken. I get them at the dollar store. They're quite sturdy and quite efficient. And so I use this, I fill it up with my Cluck and Company, right? And by the way, this bag I bought this bag maybe 8 weeks ago, and it's been going strong. And this is because the chickens, they roam the yard, so they don't get their main food supply from this, right? They get it from foraging in the yard. But I have this in the coop that they can go in there. They can eat it first thing in the morning before we let them out, and the last thing at night. Now she's looking for her company. And so what I do, I fill this up. This is a 5-gallon bucket. I fill this with my Cluck and Company, right? And then I add some things to it, stir it up, and I put it in their feeding trough in their coop, right? And so they're usually up at the crack of dawn, and they start to eat right then, start to eat and drink right then. So before we let them out, they start to eat this, right? And sometimes in the evening, if we put them in a little early, if we have errands to run or whatever, we also put them in. And so they'll get a chance to eat from this. All right. So I'll add about this much of rosemary to my 5-gallon bucket, right? And this much thyme, this much sage, and this much oregano to my 5-gallon bucket. Stir it in real well. There's some other stuff I add. No, those herbs are for to give them probiotics, to give them natural antibiotics prophylactically, and to keep their immunity up. Now, these are for deworming the worms. Deworming the chickens, keeping them dewormed naturally. So this is charcoal. So I will put a tablespoon of charcoal in there, in this 5-gallon bucket. All right. put this over here. And then I put 2 tablespoons of cayenne pepper. Now this is not the ordinary cayenne pepper that you'd find in the grocery store. This is, I think, the highest unit of heat unit cayenne pepper that you find. I think it's about 100,000 or 10,000. I'm not sure, but it's the highest unit of cayenne pepper, and that's the therapeutic measurement, or that's a therapeutic amount of heat unit that you want for it to be effective in doing any sort of therapy. All right, so we add 2 tablespoons of this to our bucket, and we add 2 tablespoons of diatomaceous earth. Now, the diatomaceous earth brand that we use is a Harris brand, and it is food grade. And this is very important to us. It's fossil shell flour, pretty much. And you want to make sure that you're using a mask when you're using this, because it's very irritating to humans, to our nostrils and back of the throat and whatnot. And it's very light, so the minute you open it and start to apply it anywhere, it goes everywhere. It's like charcoal, if you've ever used charcoal. So anyway, this is very effective because when the chicken eats it, it deworms the chicken. It comes out in their poop. And then the fly meddles, if you have a fly or two, a couple of flies hanging around, when they meddle in that poop, it kills them, right? So it is an insecticide. It can be used in the garden for worms and other insects and so on. So this is very effective for deworming your chickens. Every now and then, now we're going to go to the water. Every now and then I'll put a little bit of apple cider vinegar in their water. And how I do it is, once again, I use this to measure everything. 5 gallons of water to about 3 cups full of my apple cider vinegar. Stir it around, and I don't add anything else to the water on those days that I feel impressed to just give apple cider vinegar. However, there are days when I feel like I want to give them some vitamins. And so this is the brand that we use, Rooster Booster. It's a poultry cell oral vitamin supplement rich in iron, essential amino acids, and necessary minerals. Those are the things that we want our chickens to be getting, especially in this heat where there's a lot of stress. All right. And so what I do, once again, 5-gallon bucket, and I put about 2 corks full in there. Now, the direction does say to put 1 ounce of poultry cell per gallon of water. But I find that when I do that, the chickens, they don't drink as much, right? And in the heat, I want them to be drinking a lot of water so they'll stay hydrated. So I prefer for them to have at least a trace of vitamins in their water than have the directed amount and they drink a little bit of water. You know what I mean? So I only put 2 corks full in 5 gallons of water, and that is good enough for me. What else do I put in their water? Sometimes during the winter months, this is going to be their first winter with us, but we've raised chickens before, and this is one of the things that we do give them. This is a brand that I've never tried before, but oregano oil, right? Oregano oil, and this company is called Superior Oregano Oil Super Strength, right? And so I put a whole dropper, a half a dropper, sorry, show you the size of the dropper, in a 5-gallon bucket of water. And I don't give this to them every single day. I give it like once a week. Can't seem to get the grease from it. It's hard to get the cap open. But anyway, half a dropper in 5 gallons of water once a week. And that water will sometimes last for 2 days. So they'll get 2 days of drinking oregano oil water. And that's even along with the oregano leaves in their food. So that's that for hydration. As far as addressing the heat issue, you want to make sure that in the yard, wherever you have shade, you place a container with water there so that they'll be able to, because they hate to leave from one corner of the yard to go to another corner to get water. I noticed that once they're where they're at, once they've chosen an area, they like to stay there. And sometimes when I take water to them, it's like they were parched, right? Instead of walking to the coop to get water, they rather stay there. So what I started doing is putting water everywhere there's shade where I know they'll hang out. I put some water there, and just nice fresh water, nothing added at all. So yeah, so you want to make sure you have shade, and you want to make sure that you have water. And as far as electrolytes, we like to give the chickens watermelons. And so what I do is, when we had watermelons growing, some of the watermelons that didn't make it because of the heat, we would give it to them. And so we found out that they love the watermelon. So what I do, go to my local farmer's market, and I get a couple of watermelons. And before I serve it to them, the night before, I put it on the fridge, get it nice and cool. And about 1 p.m. every day, I come out and I serve them watermelon. And that keeps them hydrated on a cellular level. And it also gives them much needed electrolytes, right? So if you're doing that, you don't have to supplement with electrolyte in their water, unless you really want to do that, obviously. So what did we cover? Shade, water, something with electrolytes, the water with electrolytes, vitamins, and as far as their food, you want to put stuff in their food to supplement some sort of probiotic. You want to make sure that's in their food. And what else? Another important thing is that make sure you have some grit. If you don't have grit, well, we don't have to have grit because we have sand in the coop. The chickens do eat some of the sand, and sometimes you'll see them eating, we have sand in the backyard, you'll see them eating that, and that helps to kind of crush the food in their stomach and help them to have a better digestion of their food. But grit is very important. If you're in an area where your soil is not sandy, then you want to make sure that they're getting some sort of grit. And it's sold in the store. That's exactly what it's called, grit. But we don't need that, like I said, because we have sand in the bottom of the coop, and sometimes they eat that. I think we've covered just about everything. Oh, another thing that I do is I sometimes leave the hose on the mist setting for maybe just 20 minutes, and they'll find themselves in that area and get cool. One of the signs that your chicken is going into heat shock, or about to have a heat stroke, or could possibly have a heat stroke, is if you see where they have extended their wings out to the side and they're panting at the mouth rapidly, and their comb, if they're older chickens, is pale or maybe even dark blue. You want to grab that chicken quickly, get a tub of water, a container with water, put their feet in it, and they cool off pretty fast, very fast. And once you put their feet in it, once you see them, put their wings back and they start to breathe a little more normal, then you know that they're cooling off. If that's not working, I've heard that what you can do is immerse them totally, completely in water. But make sure that after that, if the sun is not out, you want to make sure that they dry off, right? So let them out in the yard, let them walk, let them rub themselves in dirt or whatever, and make sure that they dry off after that, because you don't want them going into shock either, some sort of thermal shock either. And so I think we've covered everything as far as their food, addressing the heat, and deworming, and keeping their immunity up. Chickens are susceptible to respiratory illnesses. Yes, they do get colds and so on. So you want to, especially in the cold months, you want to give them their oregano oil and also their vitamins. Now, I remember there was a question asked on the video that I made about how we would clean our chicken coop, how we keep our chicken coop clean. Someone wanted to know how, I apologize for not answering sooner. I just remembered once I looked at the chicken's snacks. These are soldier worms, okay, and it's by the company, the Culinary Coop. Good stuff. There's another company that I can't remember the name right now, but I'm probably glad I don't want to mention them on camera. But I found that when I was using that brand, wherever I would put that food, the next day there'd be a lot of ants there. So I don't know what's that about. But yeah, with this there's no ants. You'll probably find one or two ants that's trying to get the crumbs from it, but like what I was experiencing, nothing like that. And so if you have one chicken that you're trying to give supplements to, it would be better to get it in oil form and get a couple of their favorite snacks. And I don't know which chicken don't love worms or crickets or grasshoppers. And you'd get it at the store like this, a little bit in your hand, and you want to feed it to the chicken first thing in the morning when it's guaranteed that they're hungry. And so you take your dropper and you put the amount that you want on the snack and feed it to that chicken. That's what we did with Little Miss Little when we were giving her B12 supplements. So guys, we are up to 15 minutes. I don't want to go any farther. But yeah, that's about it as far as taking care of the chickens through food and their water. If there's something that you know that I may have forgotten or something that you know that works better, please feel free to drop it in the comments and share this video, like this video, make comments. And as usual, this video is to encourage persons to especially if you eat eggs, to start raising chickens so you can know what your chickens are eating and feed them stuff that they'll give you even more nutritious eggs, healthy eggs, right? Because we know that bad eggs are just that, bad eggs, and they're not good for our health. But if we know what our chickens are eating and we feed them what we know they're supposed to eat, what's natural for them to eat, then they'll give us healthy eggs, and healthy eggs are good for us. What else? I think that's about it. And I'm sweating like crazy, so I'm about to end this video. But as usual, God bless, and as I like to say, continue to hold on to God's promises because they are true, they are guaranteed. God will not fail those who put their trust in Him. Until the next video, guys, I think I'm going to put a clip on here of the chickens eating the watermelon and how the containers that I put under the shrubs out there, how I do it, and the type of containers. By the way, the containers are sold at the dollar store. All right, I'm out. God bless. Bye. So there's one container here and another over here, but with this one I have the mister going from the hose. This is my favorite one because you have water dripping, and so the chickens can pass by and get a quick mist from the water that's going here, and also from what's dripping from the shrub. And here they are enjoying their watermelon. They're not very hungry at this time, but I wanted to show you how well they enjoy the watermelon. Therefore, they are being hydrated on a cellular level, which is very, very good. God bless, guys. Bye.